Justin Garcia, and this is Tea Time with Body Slams. I'm here with two of my favorite peoples. Who wants to introduce yourselves first? I don't care, you're both the same fucking...
I usually get an introduction is the thing.
Well, you know what? This isn't raw as Jonico.
It can be, though. It really can be.
Okay, let me start over. Weighing in at 165 pounds from San Diego, California, it is Jon Allen!
Thank you. 165, I'm back on the ramen noodles? Is that what's happening here?
I don't know how much you weigh!
Nah, lean mean. I think I'm somewhere between 175 and 180. So.
Oh, yes, that's totally leader.
Haven't been hitting the creatine as much, but still hitting the steel.
Nice. And from parts unknown and somewhere in Chalupa, Mexico, he's 6'2", 575 pounds. Here's Mongo.
He's a big boy.
No, this is John Chavez.
Mongo, only pawn in game of life. Yeah, fuck you. You know how tall I am. You know how much I goddamn weigh.
Yeah. So I'm here with two Johns, pretty much.
So I guess I'll just go by other John for right now.
It's the big man and the medium-sized man.
I didn't want to be the first guy to do that. I really.
Who's here to bail you out, Scott Hall?
Well, Chico, the way it works is I just call up a random fan and I offer a free autograph.
All right, let's get down to the nitty-gritty. This is basically our episode 0, our inception, if you will, of a podcast we're going to start doing where we talk about our love of the wrestling business, stuff that how we've gotten involved, how long we've been fans. You know what? Your story, John, is probably a lot more interesting than mine, so why don't we start off with yours?
Man, you claim to know wrestling, yet you put the main event at the top of the card? Come on, man.
I'm not jobbing to no one. I'm Cena in this bitch.
All right. Let's see here. I guess, my earliest memory with wrestling is I can remember, I think seeing my dad watching something that had, I want to say, Andre Hogan and Bam Bam Bigelow on TV one night. But when I got into it as a fan was about the time of the 92 Survivor Series.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so I'm getting on in years here. But I remember I was just turning on the TV, Saturday morning cartoonies or something, looking for something to watch, and I think I came on right as Bret Hart is making a speech. He'd just beaten Ric Flair for the championship, and he's saying he's going to be a fighting champion and all that. And I was like, all right, this is cartoon-ish, with Papa Shango and all. I'll keep watching. And, Undertaker came on and all that, and I was just kind of hooked. Many years later, I suffered the slings and arrows of being a wrestling fan until it became cool for a minute in my teen years when the NWO Stone Cold stuff happened. And then around 2010, I want to say, is when I started getting involved in the business, contributing stuff for False Count Radio and American Wrestling Alliance, then going on to be a manager, evil boss character, commentator, part-time wrestler, all-around idiot, and sometimes funny guy involved with the suplexes and the body slams. And then here we are.
Nice. All right, other John. I'm the baby of this group, so I'll go last.
All right, I guess even though I'm the big man, I guess I'm medium when it comes to age. I'll take that. Why not? The way I got started, my first any real introduction to it was I remember as a kid, my mom was watching an old black and white Mexican movie, and it would actually start El Santo and Blue Demon. And so, that was my first time. My first time was not watching, Hulk Hogan or, Ric Flair or Macho Man. My first introduction.
You're from Mexico, right?
Actually, no, I'm El Salvadorian. I am not Mexican as much as my co-host would.
I just came off as being very racist. Please continue.
To be fair, I did bill him as being from parts unknown in Chalupa, Mexico.
Yeah, when I heard Chalupa, I'm like, all right. He's either from a small boat or Taco Bell, one of the others.
Well, if you can't laugh at yourself, who can you laugh at aside from Justin? No, so my first introduction to it was Lucha Libre, and then the first thing I ever saw, I believe, I want to say it was the Royal Rumble when Giant Gonzalez came out and took out the Undertaker.
93. So
Yeah,
we're not
93.
too far off as
Yeah.
far as when we started getting into it.
Yeah, not too far off at all. So like when I first saw that, that's when I was just like, I'm in, because you had this giant guy in a full like muscle costume, just coming out beating up a zombie. I was just like, I'm in. All right,
Isn't that
let's
something? How back in the day, like when we were kids, that was just the most awesome thing ever. And now it's like just pure wrestle crap. Like, why did they airbrush a butt on his costume? Why has he got like a fur diaper? What? This is just all
seriously.
wrong.
Why did he have like crotch hair that just surrounded his entire lower half? Like I never got that.
Why in all of his promos was Harvey Whippleman's head dangerously close to his junk?
Dr. Harvey Whippleman.
Oh,
Yep.
Dr. Harvey Wimpleman. So I've been a fan ever since then, intermittently, because when wrestling left, basic TV and went off to cable, with WWE, with WWF at the time, with Raw, and WCW with Monday Night Nitro, I couldn't watch American wrestling, so I started watching more, Lucha Libre. So I got introduced to Eddie Guerrero before a lot of American fans did. I got introduced to Rey Mysterio, to Conan, and then when WWE brought out SmackDown, which I was very thankful for at the time because it was on basic TV, and I didn't get I'm as far as my family's concerned, getting cable and getting internet wasn't a big deal to them. They're like, no, you have shoes and you have food. Be happy with both. So. I never got really introduced to that kind of stuff. Like, anytime I would see something from WCW or ECW, it would be a friend of mine. He recorded something on VHS. He'd hand it off to me and be like, hey, bring that back so I can record the next pay-per-view, So I don't have that big love for, Goldberg and, Sting that my other co-host here does.
I do. Yeah,
But,
I do.
I still have a very big love for the industry. And, I actually did start I started wrestling for a little bit I want to say when I was about 13 to 14, then I had to take off time because I got injured. My mom was having none of it. But ever since then, I've been a big fan, and I've contributed here and now ever since then, I guess. Justin, you want to John Cena this up?
My story's so bad.
cut
My
it.
story's so bad. Okay, I got started with Suburban Commando. I mean, wait. No, since I'm only 23, so when I started off in wrestling, I was watching the WCW, and I can't admit that to most friends because they ridicule me.
What year?
Oh God, when NWO Black and Red and Black and White were going at it.
That'd be like 98, 99.
Yeah,
Yeah.
98 or 99, because I remember that was actually a big thing when I was, I think I was still in elementary at the time, and literally, it wasn't the Bloods and the Crips in my school, it was, you were NWO Red or you were NWO
Yeah,
Black and White.
That's what happened at my summer camp, and we'd walk around just going, "Oh."
Man, so that you missed out entirely on what I like to consider the fun era when everybody was just this goofy over the you came onto it when it was cool and we're all just real guys in gangs and crap. You missed out on hey, I'm a wrestler, but I'm also a garbage man.
Yeah, absolutely. But I mean, I did manage to go back and watch that stuff later on in life. But literally, I started with WCW. I started with a lot of video games that got me into it, off the N64 and whatnot. Then stopped because we no longer had cable. Then we got satellite, and I was able to watch I think I got back in when Evolution was coming back in.
I actually
Who?
then
Oh, you mean Evolution?
Evolution. Yeah.
Oh, so you got the taste of Randy the Man Orton before he was ever a thing. Randy and Batista.
Yeah, you remember when he was funny? When he used to do the bit where it was almost Jericho-like, where he hurt his shoulder and he was like, hey, I'm 37% healed. Now I'm 45%. Every week he would do that.
God, I remember that.
That was like anime meets Chris Jericho meets Randy Borton. It was great.
So I had that, and I tried to watch TNA, but once again, I got on the TNA bandwagon late. So the first episode I watched, Hulk Hogan's here, and he's like, "We're changing the ring, brother," and I'm like, "Oh crap." Oh, I fucked up.
So I guess I'm gonna count myself lucky. I saw TNA when it was still
Six Sides.
It was still Six Sides, and it was still a really good, strong company as far as entertainment goes.
I think that's the first time I've ever heard someone openly say, "I was lucky that I saw TNA." And then you can stop there, and it's weird. But.
And so after that debacle, I pretty much started going back, and me and my uncle really watched like a lot of old school wrestling. So that's when I started watching all the old stuff, the insane dusty promos, Macho Man pulling cream packets out of his crotch, the Mountie. It's an interview that Macho Man did, a promo he cut where, just look it up on YouTube. It's him talking about how he's the cream of the crop.
I remember him always saying that. I don't remember him actually pulling like cream packets out of his...
He's a magician. For anyone who's listening to this, go to YouTube. There is a promo. Just type in the cream of the crop promo, and it's just him and Mean Gene Okerlund, and he's just pulling out cream packets out of his sweatpants and shit. And he pulls out like 5.
Yeah, I gotta deal with Folgers crystals. You need sugar? Got that too.
Snap into it. So I managed to go watch all that stuff. Erwin R. Shyster, the Mountie. Oh God, what was the dude?
Repo Man.
The Repo Man.
Repo Man.
I actually, I'll go into this because even though I did watch some old school, I was still able to watch some stuff. So early on, so I got introduced to Doink the Clown when he was a heel. When
there's 2 Doinks.
When Jerry Lawler brought out a bunch of midget Jerry Lawlers. I remember that Survivor Series. That was a fantastic one.
I think I'm glad I don't remember that one.
I remember, Papa Shango. I remember Undertaker. I remember, just Team America versus Team, outside of America. Mm-hmm. I remember
the Foreign
that.
Fanatics.
The Foreign Fanatics, thank you. I was going to say the Un-Americans, but wait, that came later. That had Chris Jericho and Test.
I have one quick comment, though, on Papa Shango. How dedicated of a prostitute do you have to be to take whore advice from a pimp who used to be a witch doctor?
Well, the thing is, whores aren't exactly known for making the best life decisions to begin with. So, I don't know.
But this
I would imagine the interview went like, "Hey, yo, I'm a pimp, right? I also used to, sort of worship the dead, voodooize people and shit. It was cool. I made the Ultimate Warrior puke, and that was fun. Okay, I still get paid, right, Daddy? Oh, hells yeah. Okay.
I actually remember this, and I always used to wonder why he was never in Ministry of Darkness. But I was just like, well, he was busy being the Rock's whipping boy.
But do you remember the big rumor at the time? Man, I feel like such a geek with all this trivia, but the big rumor at the time, and this was when the internet was just, I think it was starting to become really accessible. It was around 96 or 98. Everybody was starting to get their AOL floppy disks going and stuff. Was when the higher power was being alluded to. The 2 names that I remember being rumored about all the time were Jake Roberts, because he's such a sinister sort of guy, and then the other one was Papa Shango. They thought they were gonna bring him into the fold. And then lo and behold, it's Vince, and it's like, okay, we just hit the reset button. We're right back to, Austin versus Vince, which had been going on for so darn long at that point.
It was me, Austin!
It was me all along!
I would have loved to see Jake the Snake do it just for him to say, hey, you want to play blackjack? I got 2 of those.
It should.
Want to play 21? I got 23. Want to play poker? I got some of those too.
Oh, call.
Sorry about that.
Yay, we're back. So, what was I saying?
How it should have been
one of a delightful act out about Jake the Snake.
Yeah, and you've seen that promo he cut where he's drunk as shit and he's talking about don't play cards with me, I cheat.
Oh, of course.
Yeah, it's Botchamania made that so famous.
I still say it should have been one of the Fabulous Freebirds or something.
What, Michael P.S. Hayes?
Yeah, he was in Highlander. It was great.
Even I don't want to remember that. And I've watched Highlander too.
This being the introductory episode of our little get-togethers here, what are some of the reasons people should listen to our show, you think?
This is really just coming from old school fans' perspective. How the businesses come from. When we were young, when we were really into it, to now where. Because remember, mid '90s, even early 2000s, it was still cool to like wrestling. In the '80s, it was cool to like wrestling, and then mid '90s to early 2000s was really cool to like wrestling. If you like wrestling now and you work in like an office building or something, and people know that, you're looked at as a weirdo. So I think this is really us discussing how it came to this.
Not only that, but we're also, I think it's safe to say we're not the group of guys who are like, wrestling should have never evolved past Hulk Hogan and Andre the Giant,
I say that.
You say that.
That's why you're that voice too, oddly enough.
Oh God.
You're the counterpoint then. You're the
No, he's not
the crotchety old guy. Well, back then, nobody had entrance music, and we liked it.
Yeah, pretty much. No, I don't think, I can't stand that mentality, and I still watch wrestling now, and I like a couple wrestlers, but I think we're also guys who can understand, what's going on in the ring, and also what happens in the business as well. So it's not just, we're a bunch of fanboys who want to masturbate to John Cena pictures. We also know, there's a reason why John Cena is who he is. And, we can look at that analytically.
So in other words, in a world of Mark's doing podcasts, here's one more.
Pretty much, right?
Just kidding. Well, I mean, that being said, though, obviously I'd say that each of us kind of brings a different sort of take on things. Some of us are comedians, and some of us have had the chance to actually get in the ring a bit.
Some of us
do other stuff in entertainment, so there's it adds some layers to it, I think.
Oh yeah, and this is strictly from my point of view. Some of us grew up watching like the American side of wrestling. Like me personally, I grew up watching more international stuff. Stuff from Mexico, stuff from Japan, even some Europe stuff. Which European. Yeah, and all the European stuff kind of is garbage, but it's a special kind of garbage.
I've never watched European wrestling, so I wouldn't know. I just know that William Regal. If you're listening, William Regal, I love you.
So none of us come from the tape trader days. That's interesting.
Not me. I was not part of the tape trader days.
The tape trader days.
No.
Didn't you say earlier though that you?
No. That was me. But here's the thing. That was my friends letting me see why they were so obsessed with WCW or ECW at the time. I wasn't like going back and forth saying like, check out this match, man. I got that rare Sabu versus La Parca from Japan.
So you mean pretty much every ECW fan?
Pretty much. and I like early ECW. I do. Not all that much anymore, but I really did at the time.
Well, it had its place.
Yeah, it had its place in history.
I still love it. It kind of. Oh man, it just kind of broke my heart seeing what they did with it during the reboot, because I was drinking the Kool-Aid. I was definitely they were Vince saw dollar signs in the nostalgia. RVD came to him with a great idea of doing the one night stand, and the ECW chants were going on anytime anybody did something akin to a hardcore spot. So, he wanted to make money off it, but in that same breath, he also wanted... The long-going rumor is that he also wanted the ECW chance to go away. So, hence what he does. He brings it back, makes some money, but then also waters it down so that, it kind of takes the sizzle out of the fun of it, I guess. Now ECW... Some people don't even think... It's sad and sickening, but some people don't even think ECW... rather, they don't think like, Sabu when they think ECW. When they bring up ECW, there's some people out there who's the first thing that's going to come to mind is something like Yoshitatsu and Zack Ryder, and that's just makes me want to puke. But nothing against those two talents. It's just.
But that's not ECW.
Right. Call it something else.
No, that's WWE CW. That's what that is.
Right.
That's how I always made that distinction because. A guy like Zack Ryder back in ECW, he would have been used for like a comedy spot for Sabu to just come out and whip the shit out of him.
Well, yeah, he was the I guess if you wanted to draw comparisons or anything, Zack Ryder was like the Stevie Richards of the new ECW in a sense.
In a sense.
Yeah.
Very, very over the top, could work. Young, great look, but also, a lot of elements of being a not the same character, but still kind of, comedy aspects to it.
Oh, yeah.
And WWE's bring back of ECWs is in no way, shape, or form as bad as TNA's attempt to bring it back as EV 2.0.
Well, I mean, God, the fun of it for me, because I'm a big fan of unintentional comedies, a long time. When you've been a comedian for so long, sometimes the tricks, so sometimes it's hard to get a laugh out of you because you can be a cynical, jaded guy. So sometimes I look for the things that weren't supposed to happen and having sort of a dark sense of humor. So the fun of it for me was seeing the dance they were doing to try to get around so many different copyright laws.
Right. They
Yeah.
couldn't call them. They couldn't call the Dudley. They couldn't call them the Dudley Boys. They had to call them what?
Brother Ray, Brother Devon, Brother Runt.
Yeah, Balls Mahoney was like Ned Nutley or something like that.
Yeah, I think the only people that they could really call by their names are the guys who really just owned their own trademark. Raven, Sabu,
Right.
Tommy
Rhino.
Dreamer, Tommy
But
Dreamer,
then,
Rhino.
but then you got the fans. It's when PJ Polacco comes out, they're chanting "Just Incredible." So
Yeah, it was. Although I still will never forget. And one thing that really bothered me about this was, I don't know if you saw, I forget who, it was the Dudley Boys versus some tag team, and it culminated into a lightsaber duel and a dance
Lord.
battle.
the hardcore chair swinging freaks, I think it was. It was yeah.
Yeah.
Balls and Rotten.
Balls
There we
and
go.
Rotten.
And I just remember looking at the screen and I was like, this is really happening. They are lightsaber dueling and too cool dance battling.
Because here's the thing, God bless the ECW guys. I mean, they left their mark on history and they were great at the time, but yeah, it's kind of one of those things where you really don't want to see Luke Skywalker come back into the white robes and dance lightsaber battle it out with Darth Vader anymore because he's past that time.
But yet that's what's gonna be happening, and I guarantee you'll buy a ticket. I mean, Vader's dead in the stories, but you get where I'm going with this.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. You know what? I have a question for you guys. Who are some of your favorite wrestlers? Who wants to answer that first?
Rock, paper, scissors.
Rock, paper, scissors. Wait, how do we know who wins?
We're going on the honor system.
I just held up some scissors.
All right, I got a rock.
Mother, father. All right.
I pulled out a bottle of whiskey. I guess that automatically means I win.
That is a disqualification. That is not how it's three things.
Way
It's
to
rock,
go,
paper,
Scott
or
Hall.
scissors. How do you get that wrong? We gave you three choices.
Way to go, Sandman.
Wow.
Look here.
You know what? Just
I
Ed, you
enjoy
go
whiskey.
first.
Okay, fine. I will go first. Thank you very much.
All right.
I guess some of my all-time favorites, Undertaker, Shawn Michaels, Macho Man. There's actually internationally too. I love La Parca, both incarnations of him. Since there was a legal dispute with that character trademark. There's this great female wrestler out in Japan. You should definitely look up some of her matches if you can. Her name's Kana. Really great in the hard style. Bryan Danielson.
Yeah, you're not gonna call him his slave name.
I refuse to call him by his slave name. If I slip up, it's just because now I guess I'm used to it.
You're
Because
gonna be one
yes
of those
chance.
fans.
Bryan Danielson, or we'll never know him as Daniel Bryan or Goat Beard Man.
And you know what? Surprisingly, I do have a soft spot for John Cena, mainly for the simple fact that he knows what he is to fans. He is very self-aware of that fact.
And he watches the internet.
Yeah.
Man, I quit this podcast.
One mention of Cena and Daniel
That's
Bryan.
all it took.
Well,
That's
you
all
know
it
what?
took.
I don't know. Well,
First,
mine
can't let
might
one
be
episode
worse.
go by without worshiping your best buddy, John Cena.
Mine might be a little bit worse, though. All right, I'm gonna go for broke right off the bat. One of my top favorites is Chris Benoit, unabashedly Chris Benoit.
Yikes, with the first episode, you guys.
Yeah.
First episode. Let them get to know us first before we come out with this crap where it's like, whoa.
and everyone who is potentially listening has just left.
I mean,
They're gone.
I love Chris Benoit too.
No, it's my turn.
I love Eddie Guerrero.
What's next? You're gonna bring up the Hall of Fame argument next, Justin?
You know, it's not like his wrestling ability killed anybody. You know, just induct his career.
It's
That's
not
all.
like he cross-faced the kids. I mean, wait.
Stop.
Okay, even I think that was too far. You're done for right now.
No. Okay. I'll breeze past the Benoit. Okay, I'll breeze past it. I love Undertaker and Sting. I feel like they're the hardest working motherfuckers in...
You couldn't have just said that.
No! I can't let it go!
You're like, I gotta kill somebody, or Undertaker, really. He is dead, I guess. I don't know.
I'm losing my shit here, guys.
God bless it.
Yeah, I feel like Undertaker and Sting, hardest working guys in the business, like never really super jumped ship, except Undertaker started off in WCW, right? But nobody cared.
Yeah.
Indies, but I mean, I guess his first big sort of TV exposure would be WCW.
Yeah. And Macho Man, of course. Bryan Danielson. Ultimo Dragon. Definitely Ultimo Dragon. That's like a dude who you could put him in a match, and no matter what he does, it's going to be awesome. And I'm not going to say John Cena. Because I've already kind of ruined that spot by saying Benoit.
Now
I have to do it twice.
Now, in my defense, he's not one of my favorite wrestlers. I have a soft spot for him in my heart because he knows what he is.
My favorite wrestler is the Yeti when he came out and hugged Hulk Hogan to death in WCW.
He has a soft spot in your neck.
My
Wow,
favorite
now you got
wrestler,
me doing
Glacier.
it, you bastard. Jeez.
More Glacier. Bring back Glacier.
All right, you shut your whore mouth. Jon Allen, by all means.
All right, El Dandy from WCW, because who are you to doubt El Dandy? Das Wunderkid Alex Wright. No, I'm just screwing with you.
That's hilarious to me, but you know what? I'm not going to judge your taste. I think we all kind of fucked up already.
All right, now,
I messed up by not having Eddie Guerrero in my list already, and he's one of my all-time favorites.
yeah, you were just totally putting him over at the beginning, and then you're like, oh yeah, that guy.
I like Cena. I mean, yeah, you done goofed, kid.
Yeah,
You swerved us. You pulled a Vince Russo. You're like, yeah, I grew up with Eddie Guerrero. I knew Eddie Guerrero before any of y'all. So who's your favorite wrestler? Oh, John Cena, you guys. Number one. You can't see me.
I'm never going to live that down. All right.
Hustle, loyalty, respect.
Yeah, I think I'm going to buy you that shirt in pink and just mail it to you.
Stupid. I hated that shirt because it was like this catchphrase that he didn't even use for the longest darn time. Like, we're putting it on the shirt. Well, I don't want to say it. Well, it's on the shirt. It sounds stupid. So finally he uses it in a promo one night. It sounds just as forced as you think it would. But
Yep.
let's see. But legit, some of my favorites, it's no secret in my heart, that I've got a soft spot for a lot of the old school ECW guys. RVD, of course. I was so honored to open for him at the Madhouse and to interview him for Medi World. And, he's just such a down-to-earth, cool dude. Remembers conversations that you had, and he's talking with like 1 million people a day, all chewing his ear off and wanting to interview him and stuff. But he takes the time to get to know you, and I think that's cool. Same with Sandman. God, some of my earliest and fondest memories of starting to get involved in pro wrestling and stuff were involved some really good Sandman stories and another really kick-ass dude. Obviously, I was a Hulk Hogan kid growing up.
Boo!
Oh, boo yourself. He didn't kill anybody.
No, his son
His
did.
son did.
Yeah, well, yeah.
Hulk
Let's
Hogan
see.
is dead to me.
Oh, so he just killed your dreams is what he did.
Yeah. He
Well, not
killed
really.
Macho Man.
So he didn't
Career.
kill. So basically, he killed nothing aside from Macho Man's career.
Yeah.
All right.
And TNA.
So he killed nothing but Macho.
Randy Savage, of course. Undertaker. I'm trying to remember who I had T-shirts of as a kid and stuff. I had my Hitman and Razor Ramon stuff. From the current era, this is going to make me sound like a super indie mark, but, I'm obviously a big fan of D-Bry and CM Punk, obviously. Shawn Michaels. God, there's so many. I think, really, with the exception of, like, maybe Hornswoggle, I've kind of liked almost everybody to some extent because they all kind of, added another piece to the... just one more, character or one more piece to the puzzle, I suppose. So.
Yeah, I mean,
You left out Chris Jericho.
Oh God, how could I do that? And I ripped off his entrance.
You know what? You left out Chris Jericho. I left out Eddie Guerrero. You mentioned He Who Shall Not Be Named.
Oh,
Well, if we were to if we were to list every single wrestler we liked, that would take up this podcast would be like 2 to 3 hours
Exactly.
long.
Actually, yeah, that would be really fucking true.
how about heels?
And I don't know one person who would want to listen to it where it's like, I like Luger, I like Four Horsemen, I like LOD,
I like the Iron Sheik.
Yes. Oh, how could I forget Sheik?
Sheiky baby.
Dude has made me laugh till I cry, and it's not always an easy thing to do.
Fuck your tomato. I come today. You know I come today. Can we get him on the podcast? Make some call.
He doesn't come cheap. Believe you me, I was trying to before they folded, I was trying to work out a deal. I was like, hey guys, how much would it cost to have me do commentary with the Iron Sheik? And I was like, I'll put up a couple $100 towards it right now. And I think the price was something like to have him do commentary for like the Heroes of Wrestling show, it would have been like $1,000 or $1,500 at least.
Oh wow.
We probably would have had to deal with Eric Sims, and that's, who knows? There's always the weird stories surrounding him. But maybe, I don't know.
I'll make some calls.
Please do. Yeah.
I'm not promising anything, guys.
Let's get Ultimo Dragon on this show. How
Can
about
we get
that?
Ultimate Warrior? That'd be great to hear what he has to say. Not really, but
Yeah.
whatever.
You know how we get Iron Sheik on this show? We invite Brian Blair.
You're not good cocksucker, Brian Blair.
Exactly. And then we just call up Sheik for a rebuttal. That's what we do.
Or we Howard Stern it and dress up like Macho Man, and then just call Sheik and talk
That
shit.
works too.
How you
Gimmick
come back from dead?
infringement. but-
I think he'd probably that would just end badly.
Or let's get Dusty Rhodes. He always makes sense in a promo.
Yes.
Let's get Virgil.
Oh,
He's not
goodness.
doing much.
Virgil never did anything. All right, so I guess let's not make this a 3-hour-long podcast. What are we going to talk about in the future? So you guys who are listening, hopefully, will want to keep tuning in.
Yes.
Well, by all means, the Jon Allen.
Well, I think we can, of course, do something that no one has ever thought of doing ever on a wrestling podcast, and that's give our takes on the weekly shows. I think that'd be a unique concept. We could try and see where that takes us.
Oh yeah.
Yep. I mean, hopefully you guys won't be down to 2 people because hopefully I won't blow my brains out, Hopefully.
Nothing wrong with covering some things in the Indies. All of us being in Southern California, there's a lot to talk about there.
UIPW!
OWA.
Yeah.
OWA.
Color commentator for Audio Wrestling Alliance now.
Oh nice.
Yeah, been doing that for a while. It's a very lucha-based show, but they're trying to bring some more of the American style in. I don't know. I mean, Justin, you're a comedian. I'm a comedian. I'm sure we'll come up with a thing or two that'll be a little bit different.
Yeah, we'll definitely have new stuff for you guys, but definitely one thing we're going to do is cover the weekly shows, give our thoughts and takes on things. Right now, this is just to get a flavor of what you're dealing. If you haven't run away, this is who we are. And,
Oh, they so have.
yeah, they're gone. We are talking to the air.
The
It's
second.
funny. Like they could just hit stop or put their computer on standby, but they've literally run away. They're like, I don't even want to be in the room.
Like, I'm just gonna let my battery die now. I'm just like, I don't know how to feel after like mentioning dead wrestlers. And
Yeah, they're like, I think I'm done with wrestling. Maybe I just need to grow up, move on.
Maybe I need to get a fucking job
what?
at this point.
like, what? Screw wrestling. Let me see if I can get into MMA or something. Let me
maybe it's not still real to me. Damn it,
I'd say definitely, maybe putting out there like who, in our opinions, great title runs, companies that people should really be checking out, aside from endings, but like also like bringing into attention, other wrestlers who we really feel like need that kind of spotlight,
And
And
for
who
you
knows?
older guys,
Who knows who we'll have on the show?
Yeah, who knows? And for you older guys, we might talk about old companies, back in the territories days. And maybe, what was some of their highlights, why they folded. We could talk about like people like the Von Erichs. We could talk about the Fabulous Freebirds. We could talk about Stu Hart's Dungeon. It's a very big wide variety of stuff we could talk about. But there will be wrestling.
Oh
That's
yeah,
all you
And
need to know.
Repo Man.
And the Repo Man. He
We'll
repossessed my
we'll
car.
find a way.
Fucking asshole. But yeah, I'm Justin Garcia.
I'm Jon Chavez.
I'm the Jon Allen.
The Jon Allen.
You're welcome.
All right, you get your paycheck after all this. Just chill out, man. Just
right.
chill out.
Damn right, you jabroni blonde.
Well, now let me tell you something here, see, baby. The American Dream, Dusty Rhodes, does not appreciate how you're trying to nickel and dime me, baby.
Both of you boys gotta realize.
Fuck your nickels. Break your back.
Iron Sheik, you gotta stop being so abrasive to the public.
People are gonna ask, "Hey, John, what's up with that wrestling show you're doing?" Like, it's pretty much just us doing like some lukewarm impressions.
Yeah, very lukewarm impressions, but they are impressions nonetheless. So this is Tea Time with Body Slams. The name might not stick, but we'll sure stick around. So
A refined look at grappling.
Look at grappling.
all right, so take it easy, guys. See you next podcast.
Thanks for listening. Bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye now.